welcome to my channel. My name is Mia and it's almost fall. Rocking the sweater. Yes, I'm already all in fall mode. If you don't know, I live in Florida and it is about 90 degrees outside, but who cares? Who cares? It's fall, or basically fall. That's my favorite season, and it's almost Halloween. What? Halloween is almost here, because I don't know about you, but I celebrate Halloween October 1st through Halloween. Yes, it's too cool of a holiday for it to be restricted to one little night. Can't happen. Not on my book. It's like Christmas. Like, I don't take out my Christmas lights until way into February. Like, right before Valentine's Day, that's when I take out my Christmas. Don't judge me. The reason why I'm telling you these things is because I have some very, very cool ideas for the month of October for my channel. So keep tuned, keep a lookout for my videos, because there's gonna be some pretty cool stuff, because it's Halloween month. Without any further ado, let's get into this review. Now, this video is going to have some spoilers. I will let you know, however, before I get into the spoilers, so I don't ruin anything for you. I'll give you about 5 seconds or so for you to exit the video. You're welcome to come back later once you've read the book. If it doesn't bother you to hear spoilers, or if you've already read this book and want to see if I share your thoughts, then keep watching, okay? Well, watch the whole thing. So, the book I'm going to be talking about today is Eve and Adam, and this is by Michael Grant and Katherine Applegate. This book is about, it's supposed to be about the girl, Eve, who creates the perfect boy, Adam. The story begins with a car accident. Eve gets in a car accident. She winds up drastically injured. She is taken to the hospital. Her mother, Tara, is this very powerful, very rich, very mean woman. She's feared by many. She always gets her way, and she winds up getting Eve out of the hospital and transferred into her facility. She owns a facility or an institute that dedicates its time and its, funds on researching new drugs to cure diseases such as, like cancer, and they're very successful. In the transit from the hospital to the new facility, Eve meets Solo. Solo is going to be another main character on this book. He is basically an employee. He works in the company, and as they get to the institute, Eve is very bored. She's very restricted during her recovery. There's so much she cannot do, and since Tara, her mother, absolutely hates Aislinn, her best friend, her mother just does not think she's a very good influence, so she does not like her. And Aislinn equally dislikes Tara. When Eve requests Aislinn to be allowed to come into her room because she's bored, she misses her friends, and yada yada yada, her mother decides to try and distract her with a project, and the project is, of course, creating Adam, the perfect boy. She gives her access to a brand new simulator where she is to pick all the teeny tiny details that will complete this perfect boy. So that's what the story is about. She creates Adam, and then you don't really know what happens after, do you, until you read it. So after 5 seconds, there's going to be some spoilers. Right before we start the countdown, however, I'll tell you my overall thoughts of this story. I thought the story was a bit confusing because I didn't believe it was true to what the story was supposed to be about. Also, the story was a fast read. It was overall enjoyable. I enjoyed it while I was reading it. But there were certain aspects of the story that I was not very satisfied with. They were very one-dimension characters, very shallow, and they just were not realistic. I couldn't relate or connect to any of the characters. The story is written in the perspective of Eve and Solo and then Adam. And they all read the same. The entire technological aspect of it is very interesting, but is not very elaborated on. Equally goes for the entire scientific factor of it is not very well described, it's not elaborated, so it's kind of, it falls flat. The ending was a bit disappointing for me as well. So based on all of these thoughts, I gave this book 2 stars out of 5 stars. I could have easily given the book 1.5 stars due to all the negative aspects of it. Although it had some positive aspects, for me at least, I thought the negative aspects were a bit stronger. So I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. Now in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we're gonna start with spoilers. So bye bye if you do not want to be spoiled. I'll see you eventually once you read the book. Don't forget to come back. When the story begins and Eve gets on this accident, her injury was quite severe. She basically lost a leg. She was in a car accident and one of her legs was separated from her body and then reattached at the hospital. Right off the bat, once you meet Solo, you dislike him. He seems very cocky. He seems just very full of himself. He can't stop thinking about this girl who is obviously checking him out, a girl who just got out of a long surgery, who just lost a leg and had it reattached and is completely beat up everywhere, and he's thinking about her in an attractive way when she obviously does not look attractive in any way. And then of course he's cocky enough to think that she is checking him out, until the point where he lean on her leg and hurt her and she starts screaming. Then he realizes that, oh, maybe she was not checking me out after all. It was just off the back, what is happening here? Doesn't even give a second thought to her leg. She doesn't necessarily question her healing. This is a girl who used to run all the time. Running was her escape from things. That was what made her feel relaxed and happy. And she doesn't question for once, how is the healing on my leg going? May I see it? You know, like, how come I don't feel any pain? Why don't I have a cast? Like, all of these little things that I personally would be all over. She doesn't even have a second thought of it because she's too busy thinking about this new stranger named Solo, who she met, who he is, where he came from, how come she hadn't heard of him before. His eyes, oh, his eyes are so beautiful. Really? Then Solo, who is actually the son of the business partners of Terra, with whom her and her husband had developed this entire organization. Her husband, together with Solo's parents, are deceased, they're dead, they no longer exist. So she took over Solo's care. She basically adopted him. She gave him the option of either moving in with her and Eve or living in this institute where he would have his own like room or whatever, and he could work there if he so desired. He chose the later, of course, but he hates Terra with passion. He thinks she's this evil creature. He's so certain that there are illegal experiments going on in this organization that is very shady and is horrible. He wants to expose her to the authorities and have the entire thing shut down. But you never quite understand why. Why do you have such strong hatred feelings towards her? They're not explained. She adopted you, she gave you a home and a job, and you hate her. Why? Oh, that's not really explained. It's just believe me. He hates her, that's it. Don't ask questions, just he hates her. So that leaves you wondering, you know, like where exactly is this plot going that you're not elaborating on special or important aspects of the story, such as this one. As the story progresses, you start to realize that there's very little of Adam in this book. It should have been named more Eve and Solo because most of the story was about the development of their feelings for each other. And There's some drama with Aisling and her boyfriend Malcolm, who I believe I already mentioned he was a drug dealer. Got them all almost killed a couple times. Adam is in the picture for most of the book simply as a doll that she is creating. She thinks it's just a simulated doll. She creates the perfect boy who happens to have Solo's eyes and looks mostly like Solo at the beginning until she decides to change him because she realizes he looks like Solo and she's kind of on denial of her feelings for Solo. Then Solo does tell Eve all his plans. He tells her what he believes her mother is guilty for, which is running, you know, like Frankenstein-like experiments in this organization. He has no proof as of now of this happening, but he's certain that that happens. Eventually he finds proof of certain experiments or such experiments taking place in this organization. He saves him in a fast drive, ends up getting beat up, almost killed. Him and Eve and Aisling end up as running off this place, running away from this evil scientists who of course are working under Terra according to Solo, and they are planning to take the evidence to the authorities, to the police, and have the entire organization shut down and put them all in jail, in prison. So as they're planning on doing this, Eve keeps having second thoughts. You know, this organization has cured cancer and it has saved so many people. Like, is this really the right thing we're doing? I mean, what are some experiments compared with all the good that the organization has done? So she starts second guessing her decision to support Solo. And Solo, in fear of him changing his decision as well, mostly because he has all these feelings for Eve now, takes the flash drive and disappears one night. Eve gets into a fight with Aisling. They separate. Then it turns out that Adam, the simulated doll, was a real-life creature. So she was creating a real-life boy. However, they don't elaborate on how is this possible. How did this boy that she created in a simulator became real? But just like parts started to float. You know, the respiratory system all of a sudden just boop, appeared and was just floating in the liquid that it was kept in, and then, oh, the eyes, boop, they just appear. Like, they don't elaborate, so it's hard for you to actually envision how these things are happening. It just sounds like a crazy magic tale. Terra knows about all of these things, however, she is not responsible for all of these things. She is not the evil mind that everyone thinks she is. She releases Adam and sends him in the search for Eve to bring Eve back. She believes that Eve is going to instantaneously fall in love with Adam because everybody falls in love with their creation. And Adam doesn't know anything, but he knows he loves Eve. He is this gorgeous, drop-dead, beautiful creature but has no personality. None whatsoever. It's just this empty shell. So eventually he does find Eve, who goes into hiding to the most obvious place in the world. She goes to her father's studio. He used to be an artist, because of course no one is gonna think you went to your father's studio. Nobody's. Your mother would never guess that, ever. It's just not the most obvious thing to do. So he finds her. She is kind of confused. Her feelings are confused when she first sees Adam because he's so gorgeous. He's exactly what she envisioned the perfect man would be like, and whatever. So they take off. They find, or they end up going to get Aisling because she is in the hospital because Malcolm, of course, is still in trouble with the drug dealers, end up getting shot. They go pick Aisling up. They decide to go to her mother's Terra's organization to clear things out, to find out exactly what is going on. They get there, and Solo, who had left to take the information to the securities, was already there because he got caught, because he second guessed himself because he is so in love with Eve. So the mad scientists who are actually behind all of this, the scientists that work for Terra, are the ones who trap him, and they're planning on erasing his being, his mind, creating him a different mind so that he would agree with them. Again, none of this is explained as of how all of this is going to happen. So they end up defeating, of course, these kids end up defeating the evil scientist, and Eve confesses her love for Solo, and there's this very awkward ending where he's just completely on denial. How do you like me when you have that beautiful creature there? I mean, I'm straight, but I would do him. And it just gets a little bit weird because he is so completely convinced that she is lying and there's no way she could like him. So this, little game of, oh yes I do, oh no you don't, oh yes I do, oh no you don't, happens for a little while. Meanwhile, Aislinn, Adam, and Tara are just standing there looking at them, decide whether they're actually gonna be with each other or not. Also, Adam and Aislinn fall in love instantaneously after meeting for the first time. So as soon as they see each other, basically they fall in love. And Aislinn, who was this confident, very bold and very flirtatious person, completely changes, and now she's this shy, like just flickering the eyes and just like doing all this like cute girl things because she's in love with Adam. It was just such an empty ending. It did nothing for me, absolutely nothing whatsoever. They're in a laboratory and she's like, oh, you're so dirty, oh, you're so bloody, we should go take a shower together. Oh, my mom is over there, yes, I know, and my best friend, and the perfect boy I created, but who cares, let's just go take a shower together, because you're so hot. I just need to be with you in the shower right now. That's how the book ends. So, this is my review for this book. 2 stars, because I was feeling, giving and kind at the moment when I graded it. It could have been less. Again, it was an enjoyable story. I don't know how, but it was a very fast read and I did overall enjoy reading it. But it was one of those reads that I kept expecting more. I kept expecting better and better, and it was just disappointment after disappointment. So, beautiful cover, beautiful idea, good title. That's about it. That is about it. So this is my review for Eve and Adam again, by Michael Grant and Katherine Applegate. Yes, Applegate. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you read this book, please do leave me some comments down below telling me what your thoughts about the book were, if you agree or disagree with my opinion. And I'll see you next time on another video.